Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the week of March 27th. We're just going to jump right in here and see what is going on for you. In your first row, you have this card that says, let go of the idea that you are not ready. And you have the strategy card. It says, becoming more successful to succeed in the long term. Look at your current goals and imagine what obstacles may appear. So I do feel we are in a time of strategy. It's interesting to me that in a lot of the readings, the Seven of Swords has come up. The Seven of Swords is like my card of strategy and tactics, and you don't have it yet. You might. We'll find out. But it's just interesting. A lot of people read it as liar, cheater, stealer, but it doesn't have to mean that. And also, technically, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It can represent a trickster for sure, but at the same time, the whole point of the card is that he is stealing those swords from the army that's in the background of the card. So instead of just going to war, he's being like more intelligent and smart. He's using tactics to win the war. And even though you don't have the Seven of Swords, maybe, it doesn't matter. Those are like the vibes that I get from your reading. But damn, Gemini, this is a good reading. Look at it. Take it all in. This is a very solid reading. And I really feel it could also be, by the way, I feel like you could be feeling more like yourself. I'm getting that here. You have the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. If you want love, definitely could be love. But again, I feel there's like a much deeper side to this reading for you, Gemini, in that you're just feeling more like yourself at this time. Part of me thinks that it could be Mars leaving, having left your sign. It's going to take a little bit of time. Again, I like to remind people that it doesn't matter if, if a planet's in your sign and then it leaves. It's not like overnight, all of a sudden the energy changes. It's like, it takes a little bit of time. So, just to understand that. But it's not like Mars in your sign was bad, but I don't think astrology is good or bad, period. It's all up to us how we work with the energy. But again, I feel just like emotionally, I feel better for you with this card. Emotionally, I feel more clear as well. And that could I think that what's important here is the spillover effect. It's like when you feel better emotionally, like typically other things in your life start to improve as well. And I kind of think that's a major theme going on here in your reading, Gemini. Some of you, this could also be health. Again, I'm not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice, but, I feel like some of you could be doing things to work on your health, or it could just be like a more of a focus for you this year. Like not just like right now. I feel like this could be something that you're working on, and it looks to me like things are going pretty well, or will be going well. You have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is a victory. Could also be the truth coming out here. If you are attracting a person, again, these are divine counterparts right here. It doesn't have to be a water sign. Again, this would be water, but it could literally be any sign. Actually, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, or Leo is really what's standing out to me here with the Wheel of Fortune. So, it could be one of those signs, but again, it's a general reading. It could be any sign coming in for you. I feel like this person's very balanced, very truthful. I feel like they've made, it's kind of interesting because with this card, it's like I see a person who's kind of like very battle-hardened, like in my head. It's funny, we're talking about the Seven of Swords as well. You could be attracting a person who's been through a lot. And I always say, if you attract a person who's been through a lot, there's two ways that those people can go, right? Is they can develop a chip on their shoulder, or they use it to fuel them and they become super successful and very well balanced in life. And, again, it's not always true. Someone always gives me some crazy ass example of like someone who's been through something who, started a peanut butter factory and then failed and is now living on the streets. Great, write a movie about it, right? But what I would say here is that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about these crazy extremes that probably don't even exist. But I feel like this person here is a real person who's been through a lot, but they aren't a jerk. And I feel like they're very straightforward. I feel like they're very honest as well because of it. The Ace of Swords represents balance. There are these 6 golden yachts on either side of the sword, and that's the part of the sword that kind of represents balance. It's perfectly balanced. I also feel like this person's very abundant, and I also feel they're willing to make changes. You have this palm frond right here. Palm fronds in the tarot, they can represent making a sacrifice. And on the Ace of Swords, it does represent a sacrifice. The olive branch represents like the abundance that you gain from making some sort of sacrifice or from cutting something out. And I feel like this person is like, for whatever reason, if you're attracting a person, I feel like they're very good at doing that. And it's not like, I'm not saying they're going to cut you out. I just think they have good habits. It's like saying they've developed good habits due to what they've been through. And that's probably something that will stand out. I also think, of course, you could be on the same path. So whether you're looking for love or not, I feel like a lot of you are just developing good habits here. We have the Empress, which is the energy of a glow up. So I wouldn't really call this a glow up reading, although you do have both my glow up cards. This card and the Queen of Wands, also like the star and the sun would represent that as well. But, again, this card here and the Queen of Wands are kind of like a clue to me that you could be experiencing better energy, but I think it's through the changes that you are making. The things in your own personal life are starting to be reflected like outside of yourself, which is amazing. Definitely very good. With the King of Cups, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Big offer coming in for you. Definitely 2 aces, by the way. 2 aces is a definite yes to any question that I have not answered. So, this could be a love offer. Could be a yes to your question that I haven't answered. Could also be a business offer. This is a very good financial reading. I mean, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Plus, like I said, I get that energy of a spillover effect where it's like things are going well in one area of your life, which is causing them to go well in another area of your life. You have the 9 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, Empress, Chariot. I mean, these are all cards of abundance. So whatever you're working on, it looks pretty good. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Knight of Swords. See, I would also be careful, by the way, of, it's almost like there's like a mirror type situation going on here, and I am not talking about mirroring. What I am saying is that I almost feel like you could have a person coming back from the past who just wants to spew a bunch of lies, and you cut this person out, and then I feel like there's a much higher vibration person that's also coming in for you. So I would protect yourself from any past liars, cheaters, stealers, all that other stuff. With the Empress, you have the 2 of Pentacles. Work hard, play hard. I don't know what it is. Again, I'm wondering if it's Mars leaving Gemini, even though, again, depending on when you're watching this, depending on when I publish this video, it might already be out. But again, I'm not sure when I'm going to put this up. So, bear with me here. But Mars is basically, out of Gemini. And, again, it might be like 1 degree off if you're watching this on the day I publish it. But, what I would say is it takes a little bit of time. But I do think this transition is going to make you feel more motivated, like you want to work. I see it throughout the whole entire reading. Queen of Cups, she wants to work on her heart. She wants to work on the things that she cares about, that matter to her. Queen of Wands, she wants to be bold and assertive. She wants to, again, move towards her desires, which is very similar to the Queen of Cups. Then you have the Hermit. He's been through it, and he's got that light in his lantern, which actually looks like the star. And, the star can represent your North Star, something that you actually want to work towards or create. So for a lot of you, it's like almost like you're being I feel like you are feeling more motivated to work on the things that matter to you. Next, you have this Flamingo card in the area of the unexpected. It says, find balance, practice moderation. Again, I just get like all this stuff about you working on yourself, things significantly improving in your life. Is it really unexpected? I would say not really unexpected. I think that it's more just you're kind of maybe surprised at how quickly the changes are happening here, which, that seems to be a common energy right now. You have the Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Cups, the 9 of Cups, and the 10 of Pentacles. Here in this row, the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles, I mean, really, could you ask for a better combination? Probably not. The 9 of Cups is a card of wish fulfillment and happiness. 10 of Pentacles is, pretty much everything you want in your life. I always say that the 10 of Pentacles is like a living, breathing thing. It's building, leaving a legacy. And it's something that we don't just get. We don't just get to 10 of Pentacles. So I feel for a lot of you that this is encouraging you to kind of like build and leave your legacy. It's encouraging you to put your work, put work into the things that you want to create in your life. And so I would definitely do that here with the 10 of Pentacles, is start working on things. I think that, going this direction here, 9 of Cups to the 10 of Pentacles and going up, it's kind of like saying there are maybe some things that you've been thinking about since childhood with the 6 of Cups, and maybe you're not sure how to do those things. But again, the Queen of Wands, she learns as she goes. So there's like a lot of fulfillment. It's almost like there's a lot of fulfillment that exists, but you have to create the fulfillment. It could be through starting a business, or it doesn't even have to be a business. It's like maybe you want to do puzzles all day. If that's like what your heart is telling you to do, I would do it, And again, I always say, it's like if there was ever a freaking time, I guarantee you right now, there's a channel on YouTube that probably has over 1 million subscribers that does puzzles. I guarantee it, right? If there was ever a time where you could literally do puzzles all day and get paid to do it, it would be right now. So it's like, why haven't you started yet? That's like what I'm getting here, Gemini. I would get moving. You have the Queen of Cups. So this is talking about your heart. Again, I do feel there could be a divine counterpart coming in for you here, but this person is also working, to improve. I feel like they're working on, improving their life and getting better and, doing all the right things. So it's like, this person here has a long way to go. And I feel like this person here is already there. So it's like, what do you want? Do you want a project, or do you want someone you can enjoy life with? That's what I would ask here in this situation. You have the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune says that your fortunes are changing, which is clearly happening. I mean, you have this gift card, 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, again, Empress, definitely looks to me like your luck is changing for the better. But again, I feel like this is like, you've been working for this. It's not like totally unexpected because, to me, just looking at this reading, I would say that you've put in the work. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the 9 of Cups again, fulfillment. I would go be in fulfillment as well. We can control the Wheel of Fortune with our vibrations. The 9 of Cups represents bathing in an energy. We have to bathe in an energy of something we want before we can have it. So we really have to, have love before we can have love, have money before we can have money. And people always say, Chris, how is that possible to have money before you have money? I'm like, oh, go pick up pennies in the parking lot. People think I'm kidding. I'm dead freaking serious. It's like, that's abundance. Go be around abundance. Go drive around a rich neighborhood. Don't get arrested, but go do that. Go, rent an exotic car. Do something, right? There are plenty of things you can do. Same thing with love. Go love a dog. Go love a cat. Go love nature. Be in the energy. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Strength card. Strength is a card of patience. I feel like you've been very patient. Again, funny enough, this is my card of personal development. This card, and usually this card and the 8 of Pentacles, but close enough, right? And what I would say here is I totally get that vibe in your reading. It's like you've been doing a lot of, personal work or, personal development work, whatever you want to call it. With the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles, you have the 10 of Swords. I would be careful. The only thing I would be careful of is this past bozo that is, kind of shown up here in your reading. So if you have a past person who, just make sure they don't mess up your day. For others, I feel like this is kind of saying this is like what's waiting for you is everything on the other side of the 10 of Swords. So some of you might need to let go of something before you can have all this great success and all this good stuff here. In your next row, for what you need to hear right now, you have this Judication card and this Gift card. Kind of gives me the vibes that the universe is giving you your karma. So I kind of feel like you're being rewarded for all the things that you've been through, and I definitely get that here. For some of you, I do feel like you could be dealing with an inheritance situation. Again, to me, it's against tarot ethics to read about death, for example, but some of you might have experienced a death, and you have the 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords. That would be like a death that leads to an inheritance. So obviously, some of you could be getting an inheritance, or you could be going through the the probate process or whatever the case may be. And it looks like things are going well if you are dealing with that. You have the Hermit, the Queen of Wands, and the Chariot. So I do feel that some of you need to shine your inner light. Again, the Hermit, to me, he not a bad card, but the story of the Hermit is that his feet are frozen at the top of the mountain. So it's kind of like he's completed his long journey, his dark night of the soul, or his soul searching, whatever it is for you, but he's stuck. He's not moving forward. And sometimes I think when we go through something challenging for a long period of time, we don't realize when we're out of it. We don't realize when we've gotten enough out of the situation as well. It's like, why do you think sometimes people stay in bad situations? It's because they think that's all there is. They can't see something better. So I kind of feel that energy here with the Hermit. I feel it's encouraging you to know and to imagine, to see that things can be better for you and to start taking action on those things. Again, the Queen of Wands, she just has to be bold and assertive. She has this black cat here, and during the times of tarot, black cats were considered unlucky, but the whole point of this card is that she does not care what anyone thinks. She is going to do it anyway. So that's why she has to be bold and assertive, because she wants her black cat. But for you, it's like there's probably something that you want to accomplish, but there could be some, limiting beliefs, some ideas, some people, some past people that are kind of in the way. And I feel like those things need to die, not literally, but figuratively, they need to transform. You have the Chariot. Chariot is definitely a victory and a card of success. It's also a card of kind of taking the reins, kind of grabbing control over your life. And you can see here that there are no reins attached to these sphinxes on the Chariot, which is kind of standing out to me. It represents the fact that he is basically trusting the mysteries of the universe. The two sphinxes represent mysteries, and they also represent the universe. And it just says he trusts that the universe is leading him in the right direction. So if you have had a difficult ending in the recent past, I feel like some of you, it's like I feel like you are at that point where it's like maybe you still think about a past person, or maybe you got fired from a job or something, and maybe you still think about it, but or maybe your financial situation is less than ideal. But I feel like you're starting to go the other direction where your thoughts are actually leading. You're more thinking about the positive stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. With the Hermit, you have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands, a card of conviction. It's a card of knowing that you know that you're going to be successful. It's also a card of defending your position at the top of a hill. So you could be defending yourself here with the Hermit, but it's like you've been through the worst of it, is what I feel like saying. So I feel like you need to get out of that mode, actually. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Page of Swords. Someone's spying on you. It wouldn't surprise me if the past person who just can't get over you is spying on you here, Gemini. I would definitely be careful of a past person here. You're not the only person this week to get something like this. And, as I've said to others, we have a Mercury retrograde in April, but we're still kind of far away from it. Not far away, but it's not like it's super close either, especially if you're watching this a week early, right? But what I would say is that we have the eclipses, and we have another set of eclipses in April, but we're getting close to the end of the first set of eclipses that we had last year. So it's like whenever we're in between eclipses, to me, it's like fate or karma or karmic events could come up during these times. So since we're getting to the end, that's when like astrology is the most powerful, and we're getting to the beginning of a new set of eclipses. We're getting pretty close, I should say. It kind of strikes me that for some of you, it's like there could be a past person who like can't get over you, but I feel like they're very immature. It's like they see you as the Queen of Wands when you're actually the Empress. That's how I'm seeing this reading. It's like and it doesn't matter what gender you are, by the way. I feel like you are truly creative and powerful and having this glow up and everything like that. But it's almost like they see you as, it's almost like this person's projecting, honestly. It's funny I said the mirror thing at the beginning, because it's almost like this person could see you as toxic or whatever. I don't know. I feel frustrated just even thinking about it. So, some of you I feel like need to like cut this out. What I would say with the eclipses is if there was ever a time where you would want to get closure for real, it would be right now. So if this person comes in to communicate or whatever, maybe it would give you the opportunity to kind of bury it once and for all with that Ten of Swords. I do get that for some of you. But again, if you don't want closure, which I totally understand, and some people say, like, how could you not want closure? And I'm always like, well, do you really want to hear that your ex, like, slept with your mom, your cousin, your uncle, your best friend, and then their two best friends? You probably don't want to know that. So that's why you wouldn't want closure, right? Sometimes be careful what you wish for, is what I'd say. But, what I'd say here is, again, I feel like maybe you want to move past it. With the Chariot, you have the Four of Swords, you're healing. You're on this healing journey. It's like, don't get dragged back to the past or into, this like past thinking. At the end here for the good stuff, it doesn't matter what shows up here. It's going to be good no matter what. And a card literally just fell off this deck, and we're going to take it. It says designer. It says find a creative strategy to improve your finances. There you go. So I would definitely do that. That was pretty weird. You have this TikTok card. So this card is a card of time. And I feel like I just think things are going in your favor. It's like things are actually working out. Those are the words that are popping into my head. Maybe for a long time, you try to get your projects moving forward, or you try to be in a successful relationship, things don't work. It's like things seem to be going in a better direction here. You have this Dolphin card. It says playfulness and cooperation. Six of Cups. Literally, Six of Cups is a card of playfulness and cooperation. So anything you could do to be more playful, to enjoy your life, definitely a good idea. I think that's true for just the times that we're in right now. Again, it's so funny that really I would call your reading the Seven of Swords, and that might sound scary, but even though the Seven of Swords doesn't show up here, but I feel like this is a reading of tactics, being tactical. I think that it's a reading of having strategy, just like that first card says, in business and work, in all areas of your life. But also, on the Seven of Swords, the guy has the polka dots on his cloak, and polka dots in the tarot can represent, maybe they can suggest that the person you're reading for is taking things too seriously. It needs to be more playful, needs to have more fun, needs to add more enjoyment into their lives. And I kind of feel that for you here, Gemini, where it's like maybe it's time for you to just have a little bit more fun. You have the Six of Cups, the Fool, and the Three of Wands. Again, there is this past energy here, but really, I consider the Six of Cups to be a card of soulmates, and there's definitely a soulmate coming in for you if you want love. If you don't want love, I do feel like there's a deep kind of commitment coming in for you, but this could be like to a business or new business idea. The other thing is that you have the Wheel of Fortune and the Six of Cups. Wheel of Fortune, of course, can represent a change in your fortunes or a turnaround. Sometimes I feel the Six of Cups comes up when an obstacle is being removed from our life. We could be bumping up against an obstacle. That obstacle gets removed, and then we're able to keep moving forward. So I definitely feel that here, that the good stuff could be an obstacle being removed. You have the Fool. It's like such a fresh start. I feel so good with this Fool card. I feel like motivated. I actually legitimately feel happy on this Fool card. I don't always feel happy on the Fool card. Sometimes I feel the Fool, he does represent like wisdom and folly, just, being playful. But sometimes I feel like, again, he can be a little bit frozen. You can see those ice-capped mountains in the background. The reason he's frozen is because he has to trust himself more than anything. He has to, the Fool, basically we go from the Fool to the World, and then we start all over again as a Fool. You've had many cycles before this Fool, and it's basically saying, can you trust yourself to look at the things that you've learned over time? And, the answer is yes, I feel, because it's showing up in the good stuff. You are trusting yourself. It's like you realize that you don't need much. He has that tiny little sack on his back right here. And he's about to go on a major journey. He's about to go through the entire major arcana. And he's only bringing that little sack. It suggests that you have everything you need right here, right between your two ears. So I feel like you have everything you need. You have this Three of Wands, which again tells me you're taking a leap of faith. I like the Three of Wands, but I also don't like the Three of Wands at the same time because typical Gemini moon, right? But really, the reason I don't like it is because to me, it can say what are you waiting for? Why haven't you gotten started yet? But showing up in the good stuff, I feel like you're getting moving, which is great. With the Six of Cups, you have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, again, if you're attracting love, I feel like you're literally attracting a forever person. And I do not say that lightly, but there has been a significant change in love. I've talked about this before that, based off of just astrology alone, that we started these Scorpio cycles in the 70s, which came to an end a couple years ago. And those Scorpio cycles, that's exactly when we saw a huge rise in divorce. And now those cycles are coming, have basically come to an end. And, I think we're entering into a better time for love. I actually don't, I've said it a million times before that it's is divorce really going to be going down? I don't know, because I actually think less people will be getting married, but I think the people who do choose to get married will be getting married for the right reasons. And then also on top of that, there might be other situations where it's maybe people decide that they rather be together but separate, right? We'll probably see a lot more of that moving forward in the future because maybe it just works better for people. But everybody's different, so it's whatever you want. But again, I feel like you could be attracting a forever person. With the Fool, you have the Queen of Cups twice in your reading. It basically just says follow your heart. Again, she's holding that cup. I'll show you. She's holding this cup. And I always say that cup looks like a trophy. It doesn't really look like a cup, So she really values how she feels about something, love, business, and otherwise. So I feel that Fool is saying you really can't go wrong following your heart. Are you kidding? With the Three of Wands, you have the King of Cups. Wow, crazy. I don't think I've ever had this happen in a reading. Maybe once, but it's connected, divine counterparts. Could be a person from a distance as well. I don't know what's going on. Well, what I would say, Uranus and Taurus is, if I was being super picky about the astrology, the reason long distance comes up for a lot of people in love is because, number one, and also Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius is technology. You could obviously meet a person online, for example, or on Instagram or wherever you kids meet nowadays, right? So, that kind of makes sense. Uranus and Taurus has a very strong focus on freedom. I think a lot of people will be moving due to your values, by the way. So we have Uranus and Taurus until basically the end of 2025. 2026, somewhere around there. You might as well extend the energy a little bit into 2026 because, like I said, big planets, when they switch signs, it's not like the energy just magically stops, right? Just because it switched a sign. That energy kind of moves forward a little bit. The energy is more fluid. So what I would say here is that over the next 3 years or so, you might find yourself deciding to move. And then that could be the thing that brings love into your life. So it's not really long distance, but, you might move, and moving distance could be the thing. It could be long distance. It could have to do more with your values as well. This could be anything. Again, this could be a business as well. But again, maybe you have to move for your business. Maybe you want to start a business doing, selling cucumbers, but it's maybe you live in Alaska. You're not going to have a good time having a cucumber farm in Alaska. So maybe you have to move somewhere else, right? And so I see some of you making those changes as well. You have this Fox card. We're pulling 5 main themes now. here you go. Seven of Swords. Shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business. Your very first card, this, again, might as well be a Seven of Swords reading, like I said. So I feel like you need to be shrewd, tactical. I wouldn't be thinking, again, I think this is true for everyone, just based off the astrology. I talk about this stuff all the time, that I wouldn't just be like setting out to do something and just doing it the way it's always been done. King of Pentacles, convention, right? It's like there are probably better ways to do the things that you want to do, but you're going to have to discover those things. You're going to have to experiment, try new things, try new ideas. That's where the success is. You have this Peacock card. It says, beware of great pride. I feel like this could be this Knight of Swords person. It's like, have you ever seen the movie Rango? If you've ever, let me know in the comments. Rango was a lizard who was basically a poser, and he pretended to be a great sheriff in a town. Great movie. And what I'd say here is I feel like you could have a person like this. You have a Rango in your life. Past person probably, thinks that they're great, but they're not. I would be careful. I'm just gonna say that. You have this ear card. It says good news on it. So, I thought you had the Page of Pentacles for some reason. I'm making that up, right? Where is that? Or did you? No. Okay, never mind. But anyway, I feel like there could be good news coming in. Where is this good news? What is this about? It says flute, disappointment, a friend or a lover. There you go. I would be careful of this past person, getting news from a past person, number one. Although it does say good news. So, again, there could be good news from a friend or a lover. Next, you have this older man card, and I always clarify these people cards in this deck. It says dealings or relationships with an older man, could be any gender. And you have this wall card. It says misunderstandings. I would definitely say, again, that Mars going from Gemini, and moving out of your sign, it could be one of those things where, I would be careful of misunderstandings. I would be careful of, kind of having misunderstanding with people, just people in general, especially if there are more mature people coming in for you. There's more here. You have this bell card. It says announcement. This could be the communication as well. This could be communication from an older person coming in for you. And I feel like it's important to listen to. This could be a family member or something like that. You might kind of like brush it off at first. It's like, I know sometimes like talking to your parents or whatever, maybe it's like you don't want to listen, but I don't know, there could be some good advice that you need to hear. So if you have an older person, it doesn't have to be a parent, could just be like a mentor or something. Maybe you're kind of like, I don't know, whatever, I don't want to talk. But I think there could be something important here. Finally, you have this angel card. It says spiritual guidance, protection from harm. You are definitely protected at this time. But this is a really good reading, Gemini. I like where this is going. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.